Okay, teachers, so for your special class, which is the newspaper, now I have Unicorn 1 newspaper with me and a lesson plan. So before you do the class, you have to check the lesson plan. Check the lesson plan and the flow of the class before you do the class. Okay? And you can follow the lesson plan depending on your class. So you can use what you need and you can take out what you don't need. That depends on your class, your time, the time of the class, and the level of the students. So the first thing you have to do is check all the contents of the newspaper, which is the Unicorn. If it is Unicorn 1, it has a newspaper for that book specifically. In advance, check the contents of the newspaper in advance yourself. Each page and each activity and game. Check it yourself, and even better, do it yourself. That will give you the idea what to teach and what to not teach depending on the level of your students. Second one, I just mentioned it. Consider the level of your students, which means depending on the level of your students, there are going to be parts of the newspaper you can do, and there are going to be parts of the newspaper you cannot do, depending on the level of your students. Number 3, when you play the games, for example, on page 2 of Unicorn 1 newspaper, we'll talk about it. You have to give them specific instructions and rules of the game. Otherwise, the students are going to fight and the class is going to be messy. You cannot control them. So, on page 2, if you look at the game, basically there is no start point and finish point. So you can specify or you can tell them where to start, how to go to where to finish. Okay? For example, you can tell them to start from the first picture and finish at the last picture. And also tell them how to go to the finishing picture, the last picture. And what to use to take turns. Okay? You can use a coin or you can use a dime. That depends on you. Okay, so I hope this is helpful, and I hope that you can make this newspaper special class a fun class. It has a lot of fun activities. Just make it fun for the students and have fun. You're going to do the newspaper class in 3 classes. In the first class, you can do half of the newspaper. First page and second page of the newspaper. In the second class, you can do the rest of the newspaper, which is the third page, page 3, and page 4. So you can finish the content in 2 classes. On your third class, which is my newspaper day class, basically, you can have the students make their own newspaper. Alright, so for your third class, the newspaper day, you'll have materials, teaching materials will be given to you. So basically the students have to do their own newspaper and they will have fun. It's going to be fun. So for example, for Unicorn newspaper, it's about self-introduction. They have to introduce themselves, and they have to learn about greeting people for the first time, right? And for Odyssey newspaper, they will talk about their future, right? My future. They will talk about best fashion or market now. So, and for Excalibur, they can talk about countries, their own country or other countries in the newspaper, vacations, and movie previews. They can talk about movies, right? So even though there is a format, you can let the students be flexible and bring a lot of ideas to the newspaper. So I'll show you the format. So this is the format, and this will be given to you. You will have this material. So all you have to do is print it out and give each student one page of this format so that they can have an outline of how to do the newspaper, so that they can put their ideas in this format, in this outline, okay? I'll show you an example, a done example of this, okay? Now this is an example. For example, if the name of the student is Ginny, she can say Ginny Times. This will be the name of the newspaper. And this is not a rule, okay? They can be flexible. They can put any name of the newspaper they want. Okay, let them have fun. And the second part is a title for the article, right? This is an article. Suppose it's an article. It's supposed to be an article, and they have to give it a title. So also the title is open to the students. Let them have fun. Let them put a lot of any fun title they want, and you can go to each student and give them a little ideas and help them out. So if you look at this format, this student is basically introducing herself and talking about herself. This is for, let's say this is for unicorn, okay? Self-introduction. So she talks about her name, and she says nice to meet you, and she talks about what she likes, right? I like cooking, and her favorite food, right? And her favorite sports, or her favorite activity, right? And what's her favorite sport? Also, she goes in detail and says, my favorite sport is soccer. And there is also a closing sentence, right? This will be given to you. Let the students have fun, be flexible, and give them ideas, and that'll be fun. Okay, thank you. I hope you have a lot of fun.